You know, fellas, I feel like we stumbled across the world's biggest Argonauts fan.
Who would have thunk?
Or at the very least, we stumbled into his room accidentally.
Why are we breaking an entry, James? I feel like this is a little bit amoral for our standards.
Shh.
Hey, I mean, don't think too much about it. This place hasn't been used in like 20 years.
It's like, shh, don't ruin this for me. You have any idea how long I've been trying to find somebody who would be worthy to carry the mantle of the Buck Bumble remaster?
Man, I will freaking laugh if that actually does end up becoming a thing within the next couple of years. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to honor the legacy of one Croc.
What is a croc?
Croc is a green crocodile with a snazzy little backpack who was a platforming icon of the mid to late 90s, made by one Argonaut Software, the same people that helped Nintendo a long time ago with the original Star Fox, and then branched off to do this game along with the likes of Buck Bumble and iNinja, to name a few.
Oh, snap, they're the ones who did iNinja?
Yeah.
Nice.
They got a bit of a lofty legacy, for lack of a better word, but let's just say that it really started to kick off here on Volcano Island, the home of the Gobbos people.
Oh.
A wonderful, peaceful bunch.
What the heck is this?
Quack.
The furry little Gobbos came across a carriage, and inside the carriage was a baby Croc.
Oh, you adore. Oh boy.
Well, okay, it's hungry.
His cries were so loud it temporarily distorted the dimension. But they decided to raise the little crocodile as their own. They taught him how to run, they taught him how to sneak, and they taught him how to tail whip.
Ow!
A little too good.
And, you know, before they knew it, he grew up.
Oh, that's cool. Junior
Wait,
grew up.
Yeah.
Well, that's handy.
Of course, the peaceful lifestyle of the Gobbos would not be peaceful for long, as the evil Baron Dante and his mischievous Dantinis came to rouse up some trouble.
Oh
No! Get you goons out of here. You're not
And
welcome.
with his mighty iron
peaceful
fist, he shifts the dimensions again, only for it to go right back into place.
Is that
If
normal?
anyone's wondering, I'm able to do this at will.
Oh, so that's what you're doing. Oh, so you're doing that to actually like swap between the old and new visuals. That's actually. I always think that's I always think that's clever when a game allows you to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course, now with Dante and his Dantinis running amok, it's time for Croc to fulfill his mission, his destiny.
His legend, if you will.
Unfortunately, King Rufus was not able to get away safely.
Course,
His was a heroic sacrifice.
as he sent Croc to who knows where, I assume someplace safe to hopefully, come back and avenge them.
Yes, so with that all said, everybody, it's time for us to play the HD remaster of Croc, Legend of the Gobbos. The version I'm currently playing is on the Nintendo Switch, and I will say, runs like a damn dream on this thing. Though there is a little bit of muscle memory I'm going to have to worry about, because for whatever reason, they treat it as though you're playing on an Xbox controller, which means you press the A button to jump, and you press the X button to attack, which on the Switch, you can see the problem.
Yeah, that would throw me off a little bit. But, so yeah, if they could do some remapping controls, that'd be nice, because, as James is going to be showing off, the amount of TLC that they gave this game over the, based off of its original tank-controlled launch, we were honestly, definitely one of those remasters that a lot of us here were astonished was actually going to be done. Kind of like the Glover, except the Glover one I heard was a lot lamer.
The Glover one's a piece of shit. I would not recommend that in honest to God good faith. So that being said, though, the Croc remaster was kind of just rebuilt from the ground up, and I mean, the amount of effort that went into it is kind of insane. It's kind of on a league that most other HD touch-ups almost never cross. And I mean, I guess it helps too that this remaster was helmed by a good majority of the original people.
Oh, nice! That's actually really cool that they're back. If you're wondering where everyone else is, a lot of them were too young to remember this game, nor too young to remember when we last covered it originally on the channel. So it's hype me and James going on a good old-fashioned Gobbo road trip.
Yep. So what you're seeing currently is that I'm currently playing the game as it was normally meant to control, with the D-pad where, there was tank controls involved. They were, they were much better than most other 3D platformers with tank controls at the time, but, this kind of stuff kind of aged considerably. So which is why we also have analog control, as you see here.
And boy, howdy, James, how welcome is it to have that in a Croc game?
It's, I feel spoiled. Very, very spoiled. Now, granted, the original PlayStation release of this game did have analog control as well, and this is before the DualShock came around, mind you. So, it was it worked, but it was also very primitive, and didn't entirely alleviate some of the later design problems that this game does have.
Oh, I mean, okay, fair enough. But otherwise, the mechanics seem to be all here. So you got your tail swiping, you got your butt stomping in order to break boxes to save Gobbos. What are
and
the
you got a little quick step.
Oh, nice. What are the little gem thingies we've been finding?
The gems?
Oh, the different colored gems, or like the crystal looking thingies we've been picking up in boxes.
Oh yeah, so the crystals are your primary collectible in this game. Collect 100 of them, and then you'll earn an extra life once you beat the level. This game does run under Sonic logic in that if you take damage at any point in time, you lose all of the crystals you have on hand. Except for the colored ones. They'll stay in your possession no matter what.
Okay. Are the colored ones required for like a certain special ending or something?
So every single level has colored gems, and you're going to need to collect them in order to access that door over there.
Oh.
Now, the primary gimmick behind Croc, Legend of the Gobbos is, well, the Gobbos. There are 6 of them that you need to rescue in every single level, and the last one is always hidden behind the door with the gems on them.
Okay, so there's already our 4th one.
And if you know what you're doing, you should never, ever tail swipe the first gong you find, because that's your end goal.
Oh, that actually, that's to leave the level?
Yep, you bang on that, the level's completed.
Okay, I will not. I was thinking that would summon the bird to take me somewhere special, but no, I realized that'd be rather rough, actually. And nice.
Thankfully the Dantinis are no trouble at all, though do be warned that, because they will eventually respawn.
Okay. But I mean, just like that, you've already knocked out the first level, it seems like you just gotta go get to that special door. Do you have any experiences with the Gobbos? Oh, that's right. He actually also had a pizza dinner coming in, so it looks like that must have just arrived.
And the pizza! Man, he should have waited for us.
Oh, man. Oh, are you back with the pizza?
Oh yeah, I have the pizza with me. Sorry about that, by the way.
Pizza time!
But all good. I actually just now. It's all good. I just asked earlier if I want to give you a chance. I want to hear your experiences with the Gobbos, and that all looks suspicious.
Oh, I'll say I'll say as far as my experience with Croc goes, I remember the most experience I have with the first game at the very least is I remember at the middle school that I used to go to, in one of the classes, I forget which one it was, they had the PC version of Croc 1, and I remember playing it for a bit, and, I remember liking it fine enough, but back then I was not all that enthused by the tank controls that the first game had, which thankfully is, it's an option, but it's no longer something I have to deal with this re-release.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness.
It is right there, and so, I mean, right away, I'm hoping that this sells well enough that they can justify doing it for the second game.
Oh, I honestly hope so too, because to be perfectly honest, I feel like Croc 2 has a lot that needs to be fixed up compared to the original game.
Really? Which ones?
Well, the first and foremost, they changed the way that your health and lives work in the sequel to a slightly obnoxious degree, to be perfectly honest, and it could be better about checkpoints.
Do you think they'd be able to secure that licensing deal with Lifesaver Gummies again?
You know what? I will laugh if they actually do pull that off.
Imagine you go into a store and you see official Croc cross-promotional Lifesaver Gummies once more. I don't know. What else? I mean, it would allow Hype and I to have a round 2 on one of our most infamous debates on this channel.
Oh, it was Croc 2 when we did that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Was that where that whole thing started?
That's where that whole thing started between Hype and I, where we have feuded and never once looked back on our families. We've been on the road, like, we built our houses opposite one another, like, freaking... All I can think is the freaking cat dog bit with the two, like, warring, like, cats and dogs, like, across,
right,
like,
that was
the
from
ravine.
yeah from the movie when they were trying to find Cat Dog's parents.
Yeah. And there was that one time we all thought we were cowboys.
Man.
That was a wacky little time.
She reminds me of Dad. He didn't have any teeth either.
And then recently I've been seeing freaking old clips of Duckman resurfacing again, like Duckman talking to Cornfed, which I need to show you at some point. It's a wild show, but Duckman, nice. Duckman talking to Cornfed, like, I would tell you the last words my dad said to me. Yes, I believe it was, "Careful, son. I don't think the safety's on that." Before that, damn, shouting lava. Look at the little sheeps.
Adorable little sheepies, which, you know, nice that they actually, you know, touch them up a little bit.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty slick job. Okay. But yeah, Croc itself, I personally did not play a lot of Croc because I wasn't like a PlayStation gamer. I'm more so adapted with the, I more so entered in with the PlayStation 2, and was more so on Nintendo before that point. But
which is funny you bring that up, considering that, you know, I'm sure it's kind of a no-brainer to a lot of gaming, like, historians nowadays, what Croc's whole origin was.
What? What was it? Yo,
So-
with the backpack. Yeah, go ahead though. Go ahead. Yeah.
With the backpack, what are you talking about?
I thought the backpack was going to be involved in the original thing that this was supposed to be. Like, it's like build or... continue with your story. I'm ruining it.
So the age-old story goes is that Croc, the Legend of the Gobbos, came just after Argonaut Software and Nintendo's whole partnership prematurely ended, because I think at one point they did want to, like they were already done with Star Fox, and they were working on Star Fox 2 roughly around the time before that ended up getting shelved for a while.
Yeah.
They were gonna try. They tried pitching like a whole 3D Yoshi racing game or something along those lines, anyway. And while Nintendo were sort of keen on the idea, they ultimately rejected it. And you know, that's unfortunate. That and also the thing with Star Fox 2 kind of prompted them to just up and
I was not looking at that at all.
Go off on their own.
I thought it was on the right box. My gosh, that first burst was, yeah. But yeah, so the idea is that this perhaps was based off of that original prototype for a Yoshi platformer?
Very loosely, yeah. I mean, the fact that, you know, it helps that Croc already bears a very strong resemblance to Yoshi. And also the 3D Yoshi test model that was actually found in the Nintendo Giga Leak a while ago.
That's right. Oh, speaking of, like, leaks, freaking, did you guys get a chance to look at that leak of that, like, retro Switch prototype game?
Nope.
I saw the screenshot for it, but I haven't seen any video correlating with it.
This is my first time hearing about it.
Okay, so it was an Arlo video. Arlo video. It was an Arlo video. Where he basically just narrated over the footage that someone had shared. Basically, it looked like Retro Studios was going to create a new IP. I don't know if it would have become... I doubt it would have become a Nintendo IP.
My bad. Like, when you said retro, I thought you meant, like,
retro
in the genre. I didn't know you were talking about studio.
Sorry, I should have said Retro Studios. Yes, the Retro Studios one, like... But go ahead, Hype. Go ahead. You talk about it then.
No, I mean, you were already in the flow. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if it was... I doubt it was going to become an official, like, you know, Nintendo first party, you know, IP, maybe a second party if that, but it looked like they were basically told, like, hey, we want our own cameo elements of power. Can you do it? Oh, no, we gotta find that. But, yeah, Retro Studios was kind of working on one, which, it looked a little... I mean, of course, it was a prototype, but, like, it looked like they had quite a lot, like, already added into it. Like, I'm surprised that a project that far ahead just got the plug pulled on it.
Isn't that kind of just the story of Retro's life at this point?
Probably. You know what it is? My current running theory at the moment is that they were working on that, because remember when Metroid Prime 4 was not going to be fielded by Retro Studios?
Right, it was going to be like a subsidiary of Namco's, I think.
My current
this is going to be interesting, actually.
Wait,
So imagine trying to do this with the original game's like tank controls.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a whack-a-mole with a whack-a-sheep.
Essentially.
But yeah,
actually,
having to
it
like
just-
go. Go ahead.
Yeah, just
Sorry.
going back real quick. Like, I actually didn't know. That was like a Namco subsidiary that was working on Prime 4. That just makes me. It really makes me curious as to what exactly they were doing with Prime 4 to warrant it being like fully redone.
Yeah, because it was like not. Which is odd, because like I remember the last time that they involved Namco was, off the top of my head, the last time I saw like Namco with a Nintendo product specifically. Before that moment was, I think, the Pokemon Snap remake, which I thought that looked really nice.
From what I remember, it was a subsidiary that was so far removed from Namco, may as well just been some shovelware developer or something like that.
What's what's 1-B1?
Oh, so welcome to our very first boss level, Lair of the Feeble. What's the Feeble? Well, it's a duck, which Baron Dante found and thought to himself, I'm going to mess around with it.
That's a sneech.
That is a sneech, a star-bellied sneech.
It's got a star upon Lair.
Now, and you would think that doesn't look that intimidating of a boss. But I guess it is. We're gonna deal with that now.
I mean, that's pretty much what you're gonna have to expect from the the boss gallery of Croc. Is that it's just a random little critter that Baron Dante ends up coming across and thinks to himself, I'm going to magically transform him into one of my minions.
Hey, isn't that kind of like what they do on Yoshi's Island?
Shh! Oh my god, you're right.
It's nothing like Yoshi's Island.
However, off the top of my head, imagine doing that platform that James was just on previously with tank controls.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not as hard as you would think.
Alright, fair enough. It looked like trying to make the turns would have been like wild, but fair enough. Let's see.
There he is.
It's the dreaded Tootie the Feeble. Okay, you know what? Real talk, I forgot this thing even had a full name.
He's the Feeble. He's the Feeble. He's not your average, ordinary people. He's the Feeble.
I still have very vivid memories of this particular boss fight. Mostly it's with the whole boss arena and the very ill-fitting music attached to it. It's just elicits a really weird feeling you'd only get from a 90s platformer.
Well, especially with the looming background around us.
And that's it.
Oh,
Well, that was underwhelming.
it's just. I don't know.
Like, there's not even like a defeat animation. You just hold still.
You just realize he has a star on his belly.
What have I done? How long has that been there?
Oh, there it goes.
Back to duck.
That's a duck.
He's a duck. And we got our ticket to the next world. But I'll relax. You'll be fine.
Also, because we were able to save all of the Gobbos in the last couple of levels, we have access to our first of several special levels. There's no need to worry about rescuing Gobbos in these levels, but there's something a little more important we're going to need to be finding in these parts.
Okay. So let's see. Where was I going with this? But basically, my current theory is that when Metroid Prime 4 entered the oh god, we need to start over from scratch. This is not looking good. Which I still really am. If there's ever a data leak once the whole game comes out, I want to see what that original launch of Prime 4 looked like. Not that the retro one's going to be disappointing. I'm thinking Prime 4 is looking really solid already. But
you've seen the recent videos that they posted for Metroid Prime 4.
No, I'm down. I'm so down.
We heard you salivating over that mouse control, mister.
Yeah,
But
really.
I am regardless, I'm talking in circles. I realize I do that. Hey, weird Cubert. That's my current theory, is that that cameo game Retro Studios was working on that until Nintendo said, "Hey, listen, no, we need your help now." And
hold on. How long ago was this whole project? Like when did this project what was the project date for this whole scrap thing?
the cameo one? Oh, that I don't know. Let me look it up. See if I can look it into.
Because honestly, from what little could tell, it looked like it was something they were probably planning to make for the Wii.
Really? Let me see. Leaked footage of canceled Retro Studios game. It was going to be called Project Harmony. Let's see. Trying to see if I can look anything. If it was the Wii, then I guess I would throw off my whole thing. I thought it was a Switch title originally, because I didn't know. Because I honestly didn't know what they were. Because I honestly don't know what Retro Studios was working on. Because I don't. Were they involved in the Tropical Freeze HD remake?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, no, that was still them.
Okay.
It was only because of them that we were able to get the righteous fury of Funky Kong.
And you know what? Them hammering away at Prime 4 was probably why the Returns HD port was, not bad by any means, but definitely could have been better.
Or, you know, handled by someone completely different.
Right.
No, you know what? No, it had to be Switch. You want to know why? Because I found the original footage, which
Uh-huh.
very brave of this guy to do it. And actually, oh my god, it had a whole like title animation and everything. Actually, so I found I found the original footage on Reddit that Arlo used, because Arlo only showed like a little brief bit of the gameplay in his like narration video. This had a whole like, it had like this. We're talking, it had the splash screens and stuff ready, like of like you know like
wow.
brought to you by Nintendo, and it shows like the girl and like one of the critters like showing up, and yep, he was running it in Ryujinx.
Oh, yeah, okay, then yeah, then. Whew, in that case, it's like.
So it was a Switch.
What the hell happened?
So again, that backs up to my theory is I think they were originally working on this and then had to get pulled back onto Prime 4 after crap hit the fan and they needed help.
That does make me wonder, though. Like, I doubt this will happen because I am not super knowledgeable on game development. Ooh, a jiggy.
A puzzle piece.
Does look like a jiggy.
What's over this door here?
What?
Anyway, like I was saying, so excuse me. For all I know, this probably goes against game development, but when they do eventually finish up Prime 4, do you think they might have a chance to go back and finish what they started with that game?
I would like that.
Never say never.
But regardless, we haven't heard any statement from. That's the thing. We haven't heard any statement from Nintendo, and that post on Reddit is still up to this day, and that was like 4 days ago, which is a long time for them to leave something like that like lying around. But
I guess to be fair, how much has this whole news been hitting the the social medias and everything? Like, I don't know.
I feel like once Arlo covers it now, it's like it's gonna be a lot harder for Nintendo to ignore it.
That's fair.
But
they got their laser sights on him.
That poor man. You know what? He probably should have saw that coming after making an entire video dedicated to the Switch 2's clap.
But yeah, ooh, nice little life. So do we come this way just for the 2 lives?
Yep, that's really all there is to it. Again, the most important thing you want to get while in these levels is the puzzle piece.
Okay.
There's not much else beyond that. It's like, though these are a really good place to stock up on lives in case you're running low.
Alrighty. So
Anyway.
Yeah, Harmony looked like it was gonna be a decent idea. I'm just utterly surprised that it ended up being plugged, but also more surprised that it got leaked, like just wholesale, like the Tumbling Dantini.
Ah, the one with the goofy hat on, who can do cartwheels, but honestly is not much different from his counterparts.
You know what? The Yoshi parallels continue, because I was like, wait, that wasn't the world boss? No, it's because just like Yoshi's Island, there are mid-bosses in every world.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was... Oh, let's hope that there's... Was this game released on PC?
Yes, it was, actually. In fact, that's kind of...
I just said I played the PC version. Or wait, are you talking about the remaster or the original game?
The remaster.
You can get it on PC, yes. Through GOG.
Okay, then yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. My apologies.
Oh, no worries.
But yeah, if the remaster is on PC, then dare to dream if a modder can mod Yoshi into this sucker.
I guess it also depends on like if anyone's dedicated enough to mod Croc.
You never know. You'd be surprised.
Never say never. But in any case,
jerk.
Let's see.
Though, actually, speaking of PC, that's pretty much where I got my start with Croc as well, because I remember seeing it advertised in like Did you guys ever have like those whole pamphlets or whatever at your elementary or junior high schools, which had like a whole list of like books or computer games that you could catalog order?
Like from the book fair?
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, we've had book
something.
fairs, absolutely, but I don't remember them ever having like anything regarding computer games.
I know the computer class in my elementary school had something along those lines.
I had a catalog that was like that, but mine was usually dedicated to edutainment games like your Clue Finders and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably the same with me. But I only, again, I wish I could find a way to go back and check because like I scarcely remember. Like when it comes to like my days in like the grade schools from like elementary to high, like I scarcely remember like a lot of details.
Nice.
Like I definitely remember teachers. I remember moments with like some of my friends, even some of my bullies, some of them living in infamy. And I remember like certain classes being tougher than others, but those are like the most I remember when it comes to like my memories of grade school.
Okay.
That's fair. But yeah, no. Basically, I was able to get my version of Croc via that method, along with the likes of Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge, and more importantly, for something we'll be covering later, Rayman 2.
Nice.
Oh, that's right.
Also, how the heck are you doing this? It's like, do you have like a couple seconds to like move after you ground pounded?
Yeah, you have just barely enough time to edge yourself to the next box.
Look at all them.
Ah, we out of here.
Audi 5000!
Oh, it's 93.
Any way to... Okay, so you can't play Clue Finders on GOG, but I'm curious if that one collection spot guy has got me covered.
If Matt was here, he would be fucking groaning right now.
Why?
Why? Cave Fear?
Guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
This game, listen. This game has its fun with its wordplay every now and then.
They're gonna do what they do. Oh well, I don't see Clue Finders yet, but looks like just this past month that collection chamber guy just put up his version of the Wallace and Gromit game Project Zoo. Which I know
Oh
is sold out.
right,
Never saw
the
game.
one that was on the one that was on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
And GameCube.
Right. Well, that's right. Like, you know, that's funny because like I remember that both the Wallace and Gromit games were on the GameCube, but I could have sworn that like it was the Xbox that they were also on, and not the GameCube.
Oh, perhaps. Well, they did it on a PC thingy. Let me see.
I know that when Curse of the Were-Rabbit had its game adaptation, I know that one was exclusive to PlayStation and Xbox, but I know Project Zoo had itself a GameCube version as well.
Okay, okay. Let's see if they did Clue Finders. I feel like I've done this search more like multiple times, but we'll see.
One day.
It's got to be there one day.
I will say though, like if you are able to find it, and like, because like I don't know if we're gonna make it like a thing if we ever go through like edutainment games. Like I know we did the one with Sealy years ago, but if we ever do Clue Finders, like particularly third grade, I want Sam to be on board for that one because that's the game that has like the Beatles plants.
The Beatles plants. That'd be fun. Well, well, it's like I'm positive I can find Clue Finders. I just need to find like a proper way to emulate it, kind of thing, like I did with the Timon and Pumbaa one that one time.
Are those games in any way compatible with what was it called?
Scum VM?
Scum VM.
They may have been past that point, but let me look up. Maybe I'll find a tutorial of it. But
Because they look like the kinds of games that should work flawlessly on them.
Let's see.
You would think that.
Let me see. Well, what the heck? While I'm looking that,
Blindsided by freaking eyeball fire.
it's like, gosh, like when you brought up the
There
Yoshi
you
thing,
go.
it's really hard to like not see the like parallels and stuff now. Or like that was clearly a warp pipe, and that worm could have clearly just been a piranha plant.
Yeah, and those Dantinis honestly look like they could have been something straight out of Banjo-Kazooie.
The Dantinis probably could have been Shy Guys.
What do you think the Gobbos would have been? Like baby
Or
Yoshis,
Koopas.
baby eggs, or something?
Wait, what?
Like, what do you
The
think the
Gobbos,
Gobbos that
like-
you'd be saving? Like, what do you think this? What do you
The
think their
Gobbos?
Mario parallel would have been?
I don't know. Toads?
Baby
Yeah, fair.
Toads.
There we go. Let's see. Well, while I'm searching this up, it's time I have a confession of a weird thought that's been playing in my head for some reason since that shower I had after the gym, which was clever. Which was that because I don't know why. Like, it was gonna be something I was gonna bring up was freaking like King what's his name? King Ray or King Rex?
King Rufus.
King Rufus. That he was gonna like contact Croc saying, "Hey, don't worry about it. Baron, he's actually okay. You know, he actually apologized for everything that he had done." And then it cuts to the Baron, and it's just him laying down all those different poses of the "I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and just like videotapes himself multiple times.
It's
just,
like,
and it's like it's
no,
okay
be more
now.
sincere, like this. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Good, that's the one.
Look at that.
I guess it is funny considering that Baron Dante, I mean, it's kind of no shit, he was modeled after Bowser, but it's also kind of funny because this was around the time before Bowser really started to have his fully fleshed out personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also true.
And just the whole antics he got into in the first place. Like, the whole him transforming random little critters into, you know, minions for him feels like something Bowser himself would do. And it's just the ways he does it, too.
Just
I'm also trying to think as, like, you know, like, as far as, like, personality goes, like, I feel like, you know, Super Mario RPG should have been out by this time, right?
Oh, yeah, it was already about a year. It was already out for about a year by the time this game came out.
Okay.
I
And I feel like they probably would have had, like, at the very least, like, the beginning fleshlings of the Bowser personality we know now.
Because yeah, no, that would make sense. Because that was the game that...
Oh.
What the hey?
Hey, yo. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You gotta play mind games with the moving box.
So yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, the RPG was definitely the one that like really contributed to that. And then because I forget, did this historically did Croc one predate Mario 64?
Oh no, Mario 64 was already out by the time this game came out.
Okay. Well,
Hell, in fact, I think Mario 64 was the primary reason why Argonaut's Yoshi pitch ended up not going through.
oh, was it really interesting?
Like, they wanted to do this whole 3D Yoshter game for the Super Nintendo using their fancy Super FX chip. Except Nintendo was already like, we like the idea, but we're already doing something kind of like that.
It's
so,
like, that's cute,
can't really do that,
but needs more
can't
Mario.
do that, Star Fox.
Well, it's like they could have just... I don't know. The problem is that they could have easily have just done, like, do that and then also really... I'm gonna be 100% real with you.
Hmm?
I would have played a Yoshi game like this way more than I would have played Yoshi's Story.
I can't say I disagree.
Yep.
Like, if this was just reskinned into a Yoshi game, I would have had, well, no real problem with that. Although I would have I would also expect them to have Yoshi have a flutter and being able to eat enemies as per usual.
Oh yeah, of
Right.
course, yeah. Has to feel like a Yoshi game, but just wait. Where's the Gobbo?
Is he underwater?
Can we swim underwater?
Something tells me we're gonna need to take a dip.
Oh, we can swim.
Yep, we can swim.
Are we smart enough to know that oxygen's required?
I don't see an oxygen
Nope.
meter, so...
Yay! Okay, all right, we're in,
A
boys.
croc in his natural habitat.
We are so
Let's
bad.
true to
I know
Vega.
that. And just
Oh, yeah, by the way, this is how it was in the original game.
oh, that would have been a little rough for me. Oh, that darkness actually is a little looming, actually.
Spoopy.
Yeah. Turn the light back up. But what's it? What's going with this? I mean, as you're hearing right now, I remember. I ended up remembering
There
the
he is.
music from this game more than I remembered like any of the like the gameplay or whatever. This game, like the soundtrack is pretty solid.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, I'd say it's its biggest highlight aside from you know Croc's visual appeal.
Yay, he a
He's such a
Muppet.
round little boy.
He a Muppet boy.
He was doing the banjo thing before banjo was even the concept.
He was-
Well, okay, then no, that's a partial lie.
He was dancing the Roger Rabbit with Roger Rabbit. Anyway, that's.
I also
You know, I guess it's actually funny. You know, it's actually funny thinking back on it now because I know, well, you all know that how much of a cultural icon banjo is amongst the gaming community, right?
Uh huh.
We certainly do.
And, N64 fans are like, this is the greatest thing since sliced cheese bread. But otherwise... Oh, well, before we have our fight night with Flibby, it's funny because from what I remember, that game ended up selling roughly around 3 million-ish copies or so on the N64, maybe more so. If I'm not mistaken, when Croc came out in the late '97, he ended up being about as successful as Banjo did on the N64.
Huh.
So, these two share a lot in common.
It's a little bug. Oh.
That is a very cute little bug.
He's got
some fight. But he's gonna put a little fight in him.
I'm sorry, just whenever I see ladybugs, I'm just gonna keep thinking back to the one video where, it was right when Samurai Jack Season 5 ended, and the current the current Aku actor, Greg Baldwin, great voice actor in his own right, did like a joke cover of Aku singing My Way, and someone did an animatic of him singing it, and like at one point, like how like when Season 5 ended, before the game retconned it had that one shot of Jack looking at the ladybug on his finger.
Yeah.
In the animatic,
it was just Aku.
When it got to... Well, yeah, there was a brief shot in the animatic where it showed Jack with the ladybug. Then you zoom in on the ladybug, and it has Aku's face as it goes, I did it!
Hey, Aku.
In the end, Aku still won.
I'll have to show you that later. It's a really fun animatic.
Alright, time for our fight night. In this corner, we have a little crocodile. And in the other corner, a big-ass bug with boxing gloves.
You would... You know what? I am ticked.
What's wrong?
Because, not at Flibby. Flibby's cool. But the fact that... I love that Baron managed to get him his own, like, printed, like, merchandise and, like, get the boxing ring to have his face printed on it already.
Whoa.
But, no, it's more so the fact of... I forgot. I don't think Sonic Hedgehog. Bleh, I don't think Sonic 3 actually like paid. I don't think it actually like committed to the bit that the Knuckles show like taught us, that supposedly Shadow the Hedgehog like crashed a bowling like tournament or whatever like 50 years in the past.
That's true. We never did see anything like that, did we?
And if the movie is to be believed with its lore or whatever, oh, he's just dead.
Yeah, he was squished like the bug he is.
Are we gonna cure him? Oh, okay, he's back up. He's good.
Yeah, we just knocked the Dante right out of him.
Oh.
Actually, real quick, what was this about Shadow in a bowling alley? Because I think I forgot about that part in Sonic 3.
Okay, well, no, it's the fact that, like, well, that's the thing, it's the fact that it didn't happen. So anyway, it was the fact that in the Knuckles show, which I still need to see if that dude ever uploaded that, like, edited down version or whatever, in the Knuckles show, when Knuckles the Echidna, like, shows up and, like, basically kind of interrupts the bowling tournament or whatever that Wade's
hosted by the Ocho.
Yeah, hosted by the Ocho, which I guess now makes that thing from Dodgeball canonical. Because but I think it was because I think they actually did make it a thing. Like after Dodgeball, they just thought it was so funny. I think they actually just made it a real show in real life. But anyway, basically when it's like, oh my gosh, like this is an unprecedented, I've never seen anything like this. In the Knuckles show, one of the announcers says, I actually have to correct you there. It turns out something similar to this did happen at the bowling region, or it was like the bowling or the tennis regionals 50 years ago. And it was like, oh. But now we know, and I know it's a weird thing to be focusing on, we now know that's stupid. That's a retcon. That couldn't have happened because in Sonic 3...
Well, actually, what they proved was that after Shadow was captured, or that after, basically Shadow was born, he was immediately acquired from an asteroid by Gun, and Gerald. And then after they did their experiments on him, he never left that place except for one outing with Maria. And when all hell broke loose, he was immediately put in the container. So he would never have had a chance to interrupt the bullet. Frankly, the amount of disingenuous lying that I am seeing has me disheartened for any further spin-offs.
Okay, I see your point. Counterpoint. How do you know they were talking about Shadow specifically? It could have been anyone. It could have been Big.
Dude, I want that. I want that. I actually do want that. I want that plot twist. Actually, you were
again.
You
I
correct.
know Jeff Fowler. I think it was Jeff Fowler. One of the heads of the Sonic movies. They were wanting Big in the movies for the longest time. Like, I think they mentioned that it was either in Sonic 2 or in Sonic 3 that they were really trying to find a place to put Big in, but they just couldn't.
Mean. Just go away.
Just walking on these girders as if he owns the thing, and then starts jumping around like a lunatic.
Sorry, that just dawned on me that that's how we just approached that situation. Was do we want? I imagine we don't want to be beneath him when he stomps.
Oh, absolutely not. The moment he jumps, if he's on top of you, he'll force you to let go.
Ouch. But just saying you're mean. This is done anyway. No. Because I don't know what they would have done. Oh, great ice physics. With tank controls, that would have been lovely.
Yeah. It could be worse.
But, no, I guess because, the problems that... What do you do with Big? Because it's, especially with the current, continuity that they had set for themselves, which was that, they're aliens, and aliens are supposed to be kept a secret, so you can't just have a casual guy I'm just fishing.
You'd be surprised. They'd find a way. I mean, especially after, now it's kind of become public who Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow are. I'm sure having Big just, roaming around the place as if he's just minding his own beeswax.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, a lot of the humans tend to be, very nonchalant about their existence to begin with. All throughout the Knuckles show, not a whole lot of people really bat an eye of the Echidna warrior following Wade around.
That is true.
Yeah, you think by that point he'd be a celebrity.
And it's no, what are you talking about? Look at him, he's in a cowboy hat. That ain't the real. That ain't an alien. Takes it off.
It's an echidna? Knuckles the echidna?
Honestly, it's just, looking back on Sonic through the movie, it's a fantastic movie, but it's also a matter of fact that, for those that actually did like the Knuckles show, aside from that one bit with Wade, when he was the one Knuckles stressed with the Master Emerald, you could have just argued that whole thing was just non-canon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't think anyone really expected to, at least not to, a severe degree, I don't think anyone really expected the Knuckles show to tie in that deeply with Sonic 3.
And I'm kind of grateful it didn't, because, let's be real here, I don't know, it'd be jarring.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, it's just, I mean, I feel like that's just going to be the thing when it comes to, whatever spin-offs that they want to do connecting with the movies. It's about, the Knuckles and Wade show is about as consequential to the movies as the one Poetry Bot short is to the movies.
Yeah. Also, pay mind to these frosty bastards, because they'll throw snowballs at you.
Oh. And they're spiked, so you might... Oh, never mind.
You can still tail whip them, thankfully.
Hey, you guys keep going for just for a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna have a taco.
Ooh,
taco.
I have a Croco taco.
Taco.
You like tacos, Croc?
And this is his response.
You don't even know what a taco is, do you, Croc?
Croc doesn't know a lot of things. All he knows is how to say wazoo or huzzah or shazoo.
Yeah, I feel like the Gobbos really should try to expand his worldly knowledge.
I mean, they help him out a little bit in the sequel, if I'll give them any credit, because that's the point where they actually do add in dialogue.
Yeah.
It's not voice acted or anything. Well, okay, technically it is voice acted, but it's your typical Banjanese speak.
Right. I remember that much.
Banjo speak and a whole lot of broken English.
Well, yeah, because, that's how the Gobbos talked, and since he was raised by the Gobbos, Croc also speaks some broken English.
Exactly.
Which is a cute detail to adhere to. I do appreciate that.
And I mean, I guess to be totally fair, that's only really an aspect if you're playing like the console/PC versions of Croc 2. There was also a Game Boy Color version, but for that one they actually just let them speak, normal ass English.
Actually, yeah, that is a surprise. I forgot they made a Game Boy Color version of Croc 2.
Yep, they made one of Croc 2 and also the original Croc, and Croc 2 is interesting just because they got Natsumi on that project, so automatically there's already a pretty... the quality's gonna show.
I might need a reminder. What else are they known for?
Natsumi also made the likes of Wild Guns, Pocky and Rocky, and shit.
Well,
Oh, there's my first life loss. But yeah, they made they made Wild Guns, Pocky and Rocky. They're also responsible for a good handful of the Harvest Moon games.
well, that's interesting.
Unfortunately, they're also mainly responsible nowadays for the ones that most people kind of don't care about.
Oh. Well, I'm not like super familiar with
Their quality is a little inconsistent, I will say that much.
Okay, I get you. What would you
But
say?
other than that,
Oh, sorry.
They did the Croc 2 game. I know for Croc 1, they got some other developer on hand, and it definitely felt like one of those slap jobs.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing Argonauts didn't really have a whole lot of involvement in either of those ports.
Outside of being the producers, not really.
Okay.
But yeah, Croc's legacy beyond that, though, is honestly kind of interesting. You got the first game, which came out around, 97, and, well, it was very successful. Then there was the sequel, which was okay, but not quite as successful. And then after that, Croc kind of just went MIA until, for some reason, somehow, he got, 2 games on, on those really old mobile phones.
Oh, that's... Man, yeah, that's right. That wild era of where companies try to produce those type of games on phones.
Yeah, I mean, it's a relic of a bygone era, considering where our phones are now.
Yeah. Nowadays, we're at a point where our phones probably could emulate the original Croc.
Yeah, they really could. I mean, honestly, who's to say it already hasn't been done?
Maybe.
And no, I'm not. And, there are some people out there who are probably going to be crazy enough to think, weren't there, several other Croc games on the Switch as well? And it's oh yeah, you mean all the shovelware that has absolutely no correlation?
Oh, that is... I had no idea that people were trying to correlate that to Croc games.
I know, well, to be fair, those that do are mostly doing it for shitpost material.
Oh, okay.
I know most famously, well, okay, maybe not so much famously, but probably the most prominent example I can think of is with, are you familiar with the Golden Bolt?
Not until you just brought it up.
He's a YouTuber that Logan and I both watch, and he did make one video at one point dissecting the Croc series, and yes, he did at some point he did try to bring the whole, all the shovelware games into the mix that, again, have absolutely no correlation. He was clearly doing it for the sake of the bit.
Okay, well, you know what? If you're gonna cover off Croc, you might as well be thorough.
Yep, and oh boy howdy, was he thorough with it.
Like how exactly are his... Because, now that I'm reminding myself of the name, I've never gone on my way to watch his videos, but now that I, am getting more aware of the name, I am curious, as far as, his content goes. How in-depth does he usually go with his videos? Does he just cover, the bare gist, or does he try to 100% each of the games?
Usually 100%. His videos, he treats himself more as a historian more than anything, so yeah, he's gonna get very thorough.
Alright, that's nice.
Alright, so now we come to the point where we gotta control this here, magical mystery pot that will act as a means to collect all the crystals and other goodies that'll drop from the heavens.
Okay, that's good. I wasn't sure if you had to, if it was tile-based where you had to, hit it twice in order for it to go to the far left.
Thankfully, no. So long as you stand on it, it'll go all the way.
That's good.
Unfortunately, this is probably one of my least favorite bonus segments in the whole game, just because, well, it's long in the tooth.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if nothing else, at least they're generous enough to make the items have just enough hang time to where you can be able to, like, put the cauldron underneath them.
Yeah, but you also gotta make sure you don't miss any of the crystals, otherwise I think that's an automatic fail.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Like, you'll get whatever you were able to collect, but the Gobbo won't show up, which is what we're really here for.
That's fair. Yeah, you know what, in that aspect I can see why this would be a little bit tedious.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thankfully, the likes of this and also that Whack-A-Sheep game we dealt with earlier, I think that you only deal with those like a grand total of like twice.
Okay.
At least dead offhand, anyway. There is one particular gimmick I know that... there's the Gobbo. Thank goodness. Now we can get out of here. I know there's one particular bonus room mission that I am not the biggest fan of, and... Okay, no. I'd say I'm not the biggest fan of it, but that's more so, like, the first time that's more so my opinion on when I first encountered it. Like, in the desert level, there's gonna be this ghost we'll have to race in order to grab the key that the Gobbo's locked up in. Also, hello, Doggo.
Aww. He looks...
Pay no mind how doofy he looks, he is still a threat.
Oh. Well, not much of a threat until you kill them with the tail whip.
Yeah. I think most if not every enemy you encounter in this game, aside from bosses, do go down in one hit.
That's oh boy. Well, at least you weren't above a bottomless pit.
Thankfully, no. But you can tell by that body of water there that, well, we don't really have much of a choice. We gotta dip.
Woo!
So, over the course of the game, you're gonna come to realize that probably some of the more obnoxious...
Oops.
That some of the more obnoxious enemies in this game are those that can shoot out projectiles at Croc.
Duly
and unfortunately, these guys with the
pitchforks.
Okay, why can't I? I'm trying to tail whip. Why can't I? Okay, there we go. Jeez, this thing's very This thing's finicky when it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like those Mer Dantini with the tridents, they shoot bolts at you. There will be some devil imp-esque like Dantinis as well that you'll also have to contend with. Like those start to get spammed all over the place. Like the further into the game you go, and that's fun.
Ah, dear. Oh, there you go.
And to think, this would have been so much harder if I was sticking to tank controls.
Yeah. Yeah. I am really hoping that this does so well enough so we can get the other game remastered.
I assume sales will be modest at best because I will admit, probably very poor timing on their part. The game was released right on the same day as the Switch 2 Direct.
That's right, and I remember we even talked about that, where it's like, well, I mean, like, I feel like it probably... I don't think it would have cannibalized the sales that much, but it is just like a very amusing coincidence.
I mean, Argonaut's been doing their damnedest to try to advertise the game to the best of their ability anyway. So I assume it's going to sell, moderately enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be one of those games that aren't going to be left hung to dry for too long.
Right.
But even still, I'm not expecting it to do gangbusters.
I think what also might help it is, just from what I've heard about it, that they packed it with, like, a lot more features than I feel like most people would expect it to. Like, particularly with all the stuff within the Crocopedia.
Right, the Crocopedia is a whole new thing that they included, which is it's a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff, like concept art, interviews, the soundtrack, as well as a whole Bible for a canceled Croc TV show that they were planning around the time.
Ooh.
It seemed like it was going to be relatively on brand with the game itself, but I also have to wonder what the quality of that TV show would have been.
I'm trying to think, like, did the behind-the-scenes thing of it, like, reveal if there were, like, any other particular, like, studios that it was being pitched to?
Pitched to? I can't say that offhand. I want to say at most they pitched it to Fox because, around the time of its release, Croc was a Fox property.
That's right, back when Fox produced video games.
Correct.
Woof!
I blame the lighting.
Yeah, that's fair.
Still pretty bright.
There you go. But yeah, like...
Well, anyway, but yeah, no, like, I remember from that pitch, like, at most, it was gonna follow the games relatively closely. They were gonna try to go for a CG style, not unlike, say, Reboot or Donkey Kong Country.
Oh boy.
And otherwise, that's really about it.
I'm trying to think, like, would both of the Croc games been out by the time that they were pitching this, or would it have just been the first game?
Just the first game. I think the sequel might have already been in production by the time they were making that Bible.
Okay.
Alright, so unfortunately, looks like Logan's gonna have to miss out on our first of 2 ice bosses.
Oh, well. You know.
Oh, it's the funniest one. It's the funniest one, too, because it's just, he takes this one guy, sticks a rocket pack straight on his back, and that's our boss.
Oh, boy.
I didn't sign up for this!
Oh, boy. Pangolins.
Yeah, these pangolins and their very thorough means of travel, not the most fun thing in the world when you're dealing with ice physics.
Nah, I would imagine not.
On the bright side, with boss areas, the only thing you really have to worry about is losing your gems. There's not much else to really collect around these parts.
Right.
And the occasional extra life if you're lucky. I really hope Logan's enjoying his Croco Taco. What do you think Croco Taco is made out of?
For some reason, I'm imagining it would have, like, an extra amount of guacamole in it.
I could believe that. Just for that added kick.
Like a guac croc talk.
It works all too well. Anyway. Chumly, the Rocket Man! Look at him go with his amazing... Well, how's that for a failed landing?
Although that, I will admit, like, I was not expecting him to be, like, just that exactly up towards you like that.
Yeah. This is honestly the one fight that really encapsulates these poor creatures are just a victim of their own, of the circumstance that Baron Dante put them on.
Yeah.
And that they will have to deal with Croc's tail whip, whether they like it or not.
I just love the fact that it's like it wasn't even like a villain. It wasn't even like a creature he twisted into a monster or anything. It was just a random guy minding his own business. Then all of a sudden he has the jetpack strapped onto him, and then once he sees Croc, he goes, "Okay, I guess this is my job now. I'm gonna kill you, Croc."
Oh, can somebody get this fire hydrant off me? There we go.
There it is.
Smell you later.
Hey, nothing personal. No, excuse me. I'm gonna go back to my home.
Get some aspirin. Just, yeah, no. There's a certain charm to the way this game handles its boss fights. Power, piss easy, a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Just goes to show that, a little personality can come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
However simplistic it may end up being in the long run.
Yeah, it is funny, because, like, when it comes to, like... It's funny, because I remember Croc was also another one of those mascots that tried to go with, like, the whole jabbing advertising method that a lot of mascots had. Like, I still remember the one printed ad about him basically eating Mario, Crash, and Laura, which is very funny, because, it kind of contrasts with how Croc is, like, in the actual game, where it's like he's, like, Croc, the entire vibe of Croc as a character, and the first game in general, is a lot more wholesome than, like, the advertisings would have you believe.
Oh, for absolutely certain. It's like, this is definitely not got the same kind of bite that the likes of Crash or Laura actually have. It's much more comparable to that of, well, a 3D Mario.
Yeah. Honestly, I think realistically, he probably would get along with Mario fine instead of just eating him.
Oh, for sure. If anything, he'd just take interest that he shares a lot of, similarities with Yoshi.
Mm-hmm. And just all of a sudden, like, he'd probably, like, train himself to be as good of a person as Yoshi. Like imagine, like, trying to, like, do Yoshi's tongue lick, then you just see, like, just a giant lizard tongue coming out of that tiny little mouth of his.
Yeah, that tiny little mouth that's protruding out, like, right there. Which is actually funny, because I know, like, that's exactly how he looks in the concept art, too. It's not like, say, the actual 3D renders that we'd eventually get that actually gives him a fully formed mouth.
Right.
It just kind of looks weird when looking back on it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's here to stay.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I just kind of chalk it up to, like, at the time, graphical limitations.
Yeah, or artistic interpretation.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure if they had the horsepower now back then, they probably would try to give him a more fully formed mouth.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, it does make me wonder, like, if, like, assuming this does well enough, and assuming... I wonder two things. Like, if this does well enough, if they'll consider doing the same thing for the sequel, or heck, maybe even go so far as to make a brand new Croc game.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see, because, like, it is kind of funny just the fact that, like, Orgonaut just came back to do this, especially the fact that, like, you know, unless there's something I'm unaware of, it felt like Orgonaut just kind of just came back out of nowhere when they announced that this was being done.
Oh yeah, no, like, the news that they actually came back from the ashes after becoming defunct back in, like, the early to mid-2000s was a surprise, to say the least.
Because I'm trying to think, like, outside of, like, the Croc games and whatever stuff they were helping with Nintendo, was there, like, any other things that they did before they came back to do the remaster?
Well, again, they started off with the Star Fox duology on the Super Nintendo.
Right.
Then after that was when we got, Croc and Croc 2. They also did, for better or worse, Bombo.
Oh.
They did that, and I know there was, like, one other game that was showcased in that whole intro we saw earlier, but from what I immediately remember, there was also, they did do the game adaptation for The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, that was Orgonaut. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly stands a testament how that's actually one of the more solid game adaptations of the PlayStation.
Yeah, at the very least, Disney ones.
Right. Let me just make sure. Okay, I'm still on the. I'm still stocked up. But anyway, after that is the only other game I know that they did make was I Ninja, which was a game they made for Namco.
Oh, right, that's the one with the Billy West ninja, right?
Yep. The Ninja game with Billy West voicing everyone.
Right. There's that. Like, I almost forgot that was also by Orgonaut. For some reason, I was thinking that was a different company.
No, that was definitely Argonaut, and it's like, I wouldn't mind seeing that game resurface at some point or another.
Maybe, you know, like, give it, like if Orgonaut's gonna, like, be back and here to, I want to say here to stay, but who knows when it comes to, like, studio management, but, like, if Orgonaut is gonna be back into the game, maybe that could be, like, if they don't remaster Croc 2, maybe that could be, like, their next big project to try to, like, port over iNinja to, like, the modern consoles.
That would be interesting.
Because I do remember that having, like, an interesting bit of, like, a gameplay kick to it. Like, the fact that, like, it was, like, almost kind of like a Sonic, like, momentum system to its movement.
Well, some of the things, yeah, like whenever you're running on those slopes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That, and also just how absolutely, like, violent that game was in the most cartoony way possible.
That too, yeah.
Honestly, looking back on that game is kind of funny, just how much what all they did around that time. Like, again, they had the whole, like, again, very violent, like, 3D platformer type thing. The name in and of itself was kind of a play on, that was around the time when iPods were starting to become big.
Hey, Logan.
Welcome back, Logan.
Hey, oh god, it's this screen. I just recognized this particular room.
Oh?
Why?
It was from an Oni Plays episode because they covered this game a long time ago.
Oh.
And the meme or the moment that happened was when Chris was trying to do those jumps, like, on those floating platforms, like, hanging up over, like, over the area.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh yeah, by the way, you did miss out on the guy with the jetpack.
Ah, it's fine. It's just Chumly. I'm sure I'll be okay. But when he kept failing, so Zach, Psychic Pebbles, Charlie from Smiling Friends, he kept, like, just giving him a hard time. Or when he kept missing the jump, he was like, put the. He's like, no, look out there, and he has Chris look out into, like, the blue void or whatever. He's like, put the face of a disappointed gamer, because that's what you've just done. You've disappointed. And they just Photoshop, like, a misty, like, faint, like, photo of, like, one of those like, you know, milady kind of types, like gamers in the background. And so then he goes up there, then he messes the jump up again. It's like, put 2 disappointed gamers. Put 2 photos out there, and it just kept going.
What's worse than 1 disappointed gamer? 2 disappointed gamers.
And that was it. Anyway, that's all. Again, now it's
I don't think they could get any more disappointed than that. Nonsense!
starts inflating the price of the Switch too.
God.
Good times. Can you guys imagine that? As of recording this, April 11th, of course, Canada and America, we don't have the pre-orders for the Switch 2 yet due to certain circumstances that don't need to be going into right now. But the rest of the world's pre-orders have already begun. And so, lo and behold, eBay is already rife with scalpers.
Oh yeah, I remember Silly was showing me that. Like, I saw, like, the scalper prices, and I made the joke about, like, the sad thing is people would argue that's not far removed from the actual price.
That was the thing where it's like...
You know, it's also funny because I do believe all those say, like, there have actually been measures to actually kick those scalpers right where they stand.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Like, some of them are actually getting in big trouble for trying to preemptively do these pre-orders on the eBay early.
Well, because
apparently eBay has rules against that.
Well, because again, like, the idea is that you're effectively selling, like, I mean, let's take a step back.
You're selling a promise.
Right, and you don't have the product in your hands, which you would think should be a rule. Like, if you're gonna sell something, you should have it, like, to sell, you're not a retailer out. So
You're worse than retailers. You're day-tailers.
I have no mercy. I work in retail.
I work in the fast food industry.
So from what I've been studying so far of you playing this game is that most of the colored crystals are usually out in the open, except for the red one, which will be hidden secretly as one of the other base crystals somewhere in the level.
Yep.
You know what? That's another Devil Damn It. That's another Yoshi's Island takeover.
Oh, the red coins, yeah. Oh, man.
I guess it's funny in retrospect, considering I know the initial Yoshi concept that whole pitch happened around the same time as Yoshi's Island was being developed. And then after that whole got canned, like, once it eventually became Croc, like, Yoshi's, for lack of a better word, the Yoshi Island style of gameplay was already well established, so I guess in a way, yeah, no, Croc did essentially just rip it off wholesale.
Okay. Hey, that's just pretty cool. Okay, I will give him this. I was keeping an eye on this, and that Thunderbolts Marvel movie. Some behind-the-scenes footage have shown up that they actually they're going back to using like actual practical explosions and stuff for some of the shots.
Well, you know what?
Thank God.
You know what? Good for them, considering that, like, so for context, we finally got back to doing our Marvel marathon, educating James on the MCU. We just finished watching Civil War, and we were actually just talking about that, like, reminiscing about the fact that, like, back when they weren't afraid to have, like, practical effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good for them. Like, I don't know how much that'll help out the film in the long run, but it's like, I don't know, like, I thought it looked fine-ish, but then again, I'm that kind of idiot that isn't, like, as super harsh towards the MCU as I have to be.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Whoa. He's like, what did you just do?
The fuck?
Because I remember, like, back when the last Captain America movie was released, like, I saw it with my aunt, and I'm like, you know, I liked it fine enough. I think the other Captain America movies are better, but I still had more fun with it than I was led to believe.
I mean, yeah, no, I had my fun with Civil War, and also just seeing...
Oh, no, I'm not talking about Civil War, I'm talking about Brave New World.
Oh.
Yeah, the fate was where we have Phase 5 right now?
Yes.
Phase 5,
Good
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
But Civil War is a better film.
License to Chill, my god. Yeah, no, Civil War is probably still really solid. What was it?
Actually, what's behind his store?
Oh my gosh, where actually are we with that? It's like, whoa. Yeah, where are we with that? It's like, Phase 1, you know, solid foundation. Phase 2, a couple of hit and misses, but like some pretty, you know, strong like introductions. Yeah. Phase 3 is pretty much going to be like wall-to-wall bangers, except for Captain Marvel.
Except for Captain Marvel, and depending on who you talk to, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I think Ant-Man and the Wasp like has like its value. It has its like merits. I feel like some of the humor was derived a bit too much of look at Wasp. She is perfect and great in every way, and Lang is just but a feeble little ant.
He's a dumbass man.
I don't know. Maybe even then I'm exaggerating and like misremembering, but like the premise I thought was fun enough. And
I do remember just going back to like Silver Wool real quick since you mentioned Lang. I know like the bits with him and Spider-Man, I know were bits that James was really getting a kick out of when we saw it. Well, actually, those two and the bickering between Bucky and Sam.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those few moments of I could have done that entire time.
I hate you.
Like,
and then a little beforehand, it's like, could you move your seat up? No.
Oh, and then the smirk that they both gave their fellow bro of like, come on, you got it, dude.
I remember Matt's exact response when you jokingly said, "Yeah, Cap, you rock that cradle."
Rob that cradle, not rock the cradle.
Oh, Rob, okay.
That's the scenario. Because again, the term is that you are technically Cap is dating someone far younger than him. Technically,
yeah.
Well, I guess it's like, physically they're the same age, but if you want to get like really pedantic, yeah, he is old enough to be her grandpa.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of the risky run when you literally have most of your life taken like frozen in, ice.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder though, because like I don't know if this is something that we talked about or if other people talked about, but the whole notion of like, because what am I trying to say? Like, part of me does kind of wonder if, like, Peggy would have been fine with it had she had known, because, like, I imagine she's at a point where it's like, she's lived well a lot of her life. She probably would want Steve to move on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, also, why are we popping these penguins?
Because, yes.
Mr. Pobbler's penguins.
I just love the fact that whenever you pop them, they just turn into mini penguins.
Oh, those are mini penguins. I thought those were supposed to be like feathers at first.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just like you destroy. No, you know what this style of 3D is reminding me of now? These 3D like character designs.
What's up?
What's that? Oh shit.
Waldo, the 3D Muppet. Do you have to get a perfect run or just pop enough of them?
You're allowed to miss a few of them.
Okay, nice.
Okay, good. Like, I know with the Cauldron one, that one had to be a perfect run.
Yes.
Can't wait. But it reminds me of freaking Waldo, the 3D Muppet.
All right, from Muppet Vision 3D.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Jinx.
Oh. It's stupid. It doesn't need to go away. Again, Walt Disney. I'm sorry. The most we're going to go into is that Walt Disney World has the luxury of a lot of real estate they can do.
I mean, like, let's be honest.
I guess that's kind of the cost of when most of the scientists that they or inventors or whatever that they invited them to didn't actually show up.
Yeah. Right. You know what? I will say, I feel like the only reason I'm not that it is still a shame. I think the only reason I'm not as miffed about it is the fact that like we did technically get a new Muppet attraction in exchange. Like they redone the I forget what it was, but they redid one of their old roller coasters to be an Electric Mayhem themed one.
Oh, not quite yet.
Well, okay, they're planning to, is what I mean.
Yes, yeah. No, their plan is to update it to be Dr. Teeth.
Yeah, the Electric Mayhem.
Hopefully. And there are theories that, like, if not for the fact that they are going to be working on that villain, show called, like, Happily Never... It's like... I forget what it's called, actually. Hang on, let me Google it. But it's supposed to be a villain show. It's where the old Cars show used to be, which, gonna be honest, the Cars show's pretty underwhelming. A couple of decent animatronics, but really the experience is just watch this video of somebody playing in a virtual race car, like a pre-recorded bit, but it's in first person. It was weird. But let's see, Villains Show Hollywood Studios. It's gonna be called Unfairly Ever After.
Unfairly After.
Which apparently, like, people like from the concept art, it looks, I guess, promising in that like already there's like they're going for some pretty deep cuts with some of the villains they're actually remembering.
Oh.
Let me look at the concept art.
Speaking of deep cuts, I mean, it's been a long time since we actually touched Speedstorm, but I'm surprised of all characters they're adding to the roster now, the Evil Queen from Snow White.
Oh,
well, I'm guessing they're only doing that the cross promote with that film.
Oh, that movie's
I mean,
so
kind
well
of,
now.
even though the Evil Queen still looks like, the Evil Queen we know.
see.
Now I'm just thinking to myself, when are the... Okay, so she's in. What about Snow White?
No, she might pop in eventually.
Hopefully.
Just imagine that for a moment, the dainty Snow White from the original Disney movie as a speedstorm racer.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be any more jarring than the other Disney princesses as speedstorm racers.
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
Some of the villains that they're showing off here include freaking Prince John, Tamatoa,
Well, that'll make Chief Frillis happy.
of course,
Silly serpent.
Radcliffe from
Gay
Pocahontas. Alright, Demon Itsy.
So it's a whole bunch of little Itzies, and then Baron Dante be all like, "Fuse, my minions, fuse!"
Oh,
Itsy, please.
boy.
I can't move my arms. They're stuck to my side.
Oh,
Oh.
jeez.
Now we're in hell, apparently.
Apparently, welcome to Silent Hill. Should've looked like
Man,
originally.
imagine this one that if it was playing any different kind of music.
Right, just imagine if it was just hollow wind noises. That's all you heard. Just the
Yeah, I was
top
about
of
to
the
say,
map.
like, is the lighting in here any different in the original? Because this is looking a little bit difficult to maneuver around.
Nope.
Okay, so it wasn't that much different.
Not really.
Let's see what else. Of all things, it looks like one of the villains they're showing is freaking. It looks like I forgot his name. The cyborg from Treasure Planet.
Captain Silver?
Yeah, John. Yes, Silver.
John Silver.
John
John
Silver.
Silver.
Yeah, they're showing
That's
him.
weird
It's like
because
I
he's
don't.
I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch because he's not like a villain per se.
No, not really. I mean, he has like less than morally justified goals at first. But let's see. They show a hat. They show a bowler hat guy.
Nice.
Goob. I think I'm just gonna feel like no, you must let it seethe and fill you inside with like.
Don't let it go.
It was great. Ratigan. You got
That's a nice
good
choice.
old Ratigan.
Rourke. Looks like Rourke from Atlantis. Hamsterville is shown.
Man, you're not kidding about some of these being deep cuts.
But where was I going with this? And supposedly the premise of the show is going to be they're all talking about how they're loathing, but we were, being a villain is so rough. And hey, Ice Demon, and
Oh, look at the way this guy struts.
I'm gonna get over there eventually.
Oh,
It doesn't even. It's kind of a.
boy.
Oh, I see. Right,
Yep,
because
there's your gimmick of the fight. But whenever you hurt these guys, they split in half.
fair enough. What else? And then there's oh gosh, and I see you have to. And they only take damage from the back.
You gotta wait for them to get out of their daze first, or to finish their attack.
Look at the
Yeah,
way
that
these
looks
guys
a-
are rolling.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. That looks a little. That one animation looked a little jank just then. Of them trying to
Yeah,
catch it.
I mean, to be fair, these were more or less carried over from the original game.
Fair. Supposedly the question at the end of the show is supposed to be, which villain was treated the most unfairly? To which my current argument of the most unfairly treated villain in Disney history, the butler from Aristocats.
I mean, being fair, not wrong.
I mean, like, he wasn't really a villain until he was told, hey, you're over 40 plus years of service, helping and just being a genuinely nice person. You get to take care of my cats for the rest of their lives and see not a penny.
Yeah, no penny out of the inheritance. That's all strictly going to the cats. It's like, what?
The cat.
You
You only knew the cats for like a fifth of the time that I've been working you. The cats don't live that long. Anyway.
And I mean, listen, I can understand if maybe it's a matter of, like, some of that inheritance does go to the cats, like, fair, but not all of it.
No,
You know,
I'm sorry,
like,
continue.
it's funny because like that is a very similar premise to a cat scratch. The fact that like all the three cats inherited the man's
Right.
millionaires, and for some reason I feel like it makes a bit more sense there than it does in Aristocats.
Well, it's because the cats in the cat scratch actually, can communicate with humans.
Yeah. Oh my! Oh, nice.
Oh,
Oh,
Good thing
thank
those
you, analog control.
good thing those ribs can
Right.
respawn.
Right, because that's the other thing I never considered that. At that they responded to. James bringing up the analog controls. 'Cause, yeah, I didn't even consider. Yeah, that had to have been hell. Like, how do you reorient or adjust your air trajectory with tank controls.
I mean, this is how you do it.
Yeesh.
I mean, honestly, not the worst thing in the world, but even still, it's not, gonna age gracefully.
No.
You know what? It's actually funny, though, because I was actually replaying the PS1 version of Croc just for the sake of familiarity, because I did own that version of the game as well. That game was actually ahead of its time, because not only did it actually have support for analog controls, like for the pre-DualShock controllers, but it was one of the rare few, pre-2000s PlayStation games that actually had the right analog stick be useful. It actually did control the camera, most games have most games nowadays have the right stick be the camera controls.
Well, what do you know? Whoa!
Right. That used to be like a lightning in a bottle sort of situation up until the PlayStation 2 era.
Yeah. So where we're going this? So update. I may have found a way to play Clue Finders on modern PC. I just need to double check and see how well they work. One of them runs on DOSBox, other ones run just straight on the computer. It's apparently it's a guy who kind of tried to do the same thing he could for the games, Collection Chamber, but just for Clue Finder specifically. So I'm gonna download a couple of them and give that a look-see later. But my gosh, we're already almost past the halfway point.
Yeah, no, we're literally past the halfway point now. Then that being said, I cannot guarantee I'll be able to do the rest of the Croc game in one more session, because the desert pulls some pretty nasty punches.
Oh dear.
No joke, this is pretty much the point where the Croc, where we've come to the wall of Croc.
What? The wall? The bone of scone?
Yeah, you could say that. But yeah, with that all said, everybody, we will see you all next time for hopefully the remainder of the game. Maybe not as much. The most important thing is we need to get out of the damn desert.
Yeah, well, we need to hydrate.
I think we could... Oh, yeah. Real quick, what's the Crocopedia?
You know what? Why the hell not? We'll show off the Crocopedia for a little bit. So, the Crocopedia is where all the extras are found, where it would be with interviews of all the people behind the Croc games, stuff about the game design for Croc, the soundtrack, and a whole bunch of goodies that were made in time for Croc's release.
That's actually pretty sick. Okay, don't show those yet. Let's wait till the finale. But I just wanted to see. I was just curious what that is. That at first was is it a bestiary? But no, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah. Again, more we can show off later. With that being said, we'll see you all next time.
Doodaloo.
Yeah,